Hello everyone. Today we are going to see one of the very famous interview question to find the subarray from the given array. What is subarray? Subarray is the all the possible combination to find from the given array. For example, consider the given array is like this 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Hope you are able to see my screen. And in this 1, 2, 3, 4, we have to extract all the small number of subarray, and we have to take all the possible combination. That is the main important thing. If you see here, when I consider 1, just consider 1 alone. When you consider 1, you have to combine with all the elements in the array. That is a combination. See, 1 is separately array, and 1, 2 is one array, 1, 2, 3 is one array, and 1, 2, 3, 4 is other array. And we don't have any other element to have a combination with 1, so we have to leave this 1 and move on to 2. Now after you move on to 2, you no need to go back and give a combination, try to give a combination for 1, because when you say 2 and 1, which is already here, and we shouldn't do the duplication here. So you just consider, when you are moving on forward to the first element of the array, you just consider the other remaining part. You don't consider whatever we already done with. Okay, now we are in the second element. So 2 is one array, 2, 3 is one array, 2, 3, 4 is one array. After we done all the combinations with 2, please move on to 3. Now once you move on to 3, you have to consider this 3 as the subarray, and 3, 4 is one array. And after you move to 4, there is no other element to combine, and this you have to consider this element itself as a subarray, and that's it. We have to exit the condition. Okay, hope you understand what is subarray. And before we get the output, see, for example, in your programming question, you will be given this input and you have to get all these as an output. Okay, before we directly jump into the programming, I would like to analyze with you in some document, and then we'll get some kind of like a formula, and then with that formula we'll do some programming. Okay, so before then I'll move on to the analysis part. Okay, here is the array, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the array value, and 0, 1, 2, 3 is its respective index value where the array is saved. Okay, in the 0th position of array, 1 is saved. In the first position of array, 2 is saved. In the second position, 3 is saved. In the third position, 4th is saved. Okay, now we have to write. I'll write like this maybe. Okay, let it be. Hope you all understand. Then first, what kind of output we need? First we'll consider this. Okay, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, first I'll write it here. The output we required is 1. I will put it like this. 1 comma. I will put it like this. Okay, please remember, by having the output like this, then only we are going to build the logic. Okay, if you see here, the starting element is 1 and there is no other ending element, right? So starting is 1 and it ends with 1. That's what it means, right? Then if you see here, it starts with 1, it ends with 2, starts with 1, ends with 3, starts with 1, ends with 4. What is this 1, 2, 3, 4 and all? These are all the array values. But when we are writing a programming, all we have to do with index, not with exact the value, right? So what is this index? Think, what is this index? Where the array value 1 is placed? It is placed in the 0th index, right? So 0th index. Now where this 1 is placed? In the 0th index, right? And where the other value 2 is placed? In the first index, right? Now come here, where the first value 1 value is placed? In the 0th index. So first write 0th index, then what? It's not, oh, it is 0. Yeah, then what about the second value, where it is stored in the array? It is in the first index, right? First index. And what about the third value in the array? Third value is in the second index. right? Then we move on to here. again we all know 1 is in 0, 2 is in first, 3 is in second, and 4 is in third. So I have to repeat all these. Additionally, for this 4 I have to write the third index, right? Like, okay, now you see 0, 0, 0. Please see the highlighted part. 0, 0. In all these 4 value, all your value whatever starts it from the 0th index, right? Because one value is having 4 times, starting with 4 times, and it's this one value is placed in the 0th index. So those 4 times you just make a tabular column during the analysis and add 4 times of 0 in the start index. Your starting index, the array starts with 1, which is in the 0th position. So that's what, that much 0 you have to add it here. And then what is the end value? There is no end value, meaning this 0 itself where it is ending, right? So the end index is 0. Then come to the second part where it is ending, 0 and 1. So 0 is the start and 1 is the end, where it is starts with 0, here it is, and ends with 2. And what about this? Starts with 0 and ends with 3. After that we don't have anything in the to do with the one thing, one value, first value, right? Then we have to move on to the second value. Then after we move on, what is the current value? It's just 2. Currently we are in the second value. So we have to, what we have to consider? We have to consider whatever I'm highlighting, 2, 3, 4. So what is the, how the combination is going to be? 2, right? You please take a pen and paper and start writing like this. You don't rush to get into the programming language. Please write like this. 2, 3, 4, right? Where the second value exists. This is the array value. But what I said, we need the index. So where the second value exists in the array? In the first. So write first index. Where the second value and third value exists. Second exists in first, third exists in second, right? Write that. First index and second index. And what about this 2, 3, 4? Where it is 2, 3, 4 is in 1, 2, 3 index, right? All I need is 1, 2 from here, and all I have to write is third index additionally, right? Now let's build a logic from this. It starts with first index. Again it starts with first index. What is the value in the first index? 2, because it starts with 2, 2, 2. Okay, it is in direct meaning with the index and this with the value. So how many times we have to put the first index? 1, 2, 3 as a starting index. See, 1 times, 2 times, 3 times of first, as a starting index. What is the ending index of this? There is no other value. So this itself is the ending index. So when it starts with 1, it is ending with 1. What about the second? When it starts with 1, it ends with 2. So starts with 1 and ends with 2. Starts with 1 and ends with 3. So starts with 1 and ends with 3. Okay. After that, we will do increment. So from 2 it will move on to 3. So what is the current value? Current value will become 3. Now what will be the output then? You have to consider what I said. You have to consider all the elements after that from this point, right? So 3 you added, then 3, 4 is the only combination left out. So you have to write it. Now this is what this 3, 4 and all, it is the array value, as I said. Now what we have to consider? Array index. Where the 3 is placed? 3 is placed in 2. So second index. Where the 3 and 4 is placed? 3 and 4 is placed in second and third. I'm just copy pasting it. So lazy. Okay. Now we done with the third combination. There is no other value to do combine. Now we have to move to the current value equal to 4, from 3 to 4. Where the 4 is placed? It is in the third index. Is there any other value apart from that? No. So only 4. Where the 4 is placed? It is in the third index. What is the ending index? Third index itself. So you have to write 2, 2, 2, 3 and 3, 3. That's it. 3, 3 means fourth is in third index and it ends with the third index. And this one for previous one, second and 2 and 3. 2, 2 and 2 and 3. So count this table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do you remember where we count this 10? I'll go back to the problem solution. 4 plus 3, 7 plus 2, 9 plus 1, 10, right? So finally we can able to get this 10 number, which is the combination. And if you see here, we are able to build all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4 and 4, which is matching here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4 and then 4. Okay, now with this logic we will build the program, which will be really easy now, right? So this is the placeholder I have created for you. Now, as I said, we'll go with, currently we need this. As I said, we'll go with the two variable, which is starting index and first index, right? So for that I'll go with two logic. So two for loop where it start, index where where it is starting index is 0 and ending index also it starts with 0, right? Now start index where till when it has to be executed. See, if you see, start index starts with 0 and ends with 3. What is 3? 3 is the array length, right? 3 is the array length. So less than input dot length, right? Then start index has to be incremented to build all the subarray. Now we have to go to the end index. This is the logic for end index. Now we have to be very careful when we are writing the logic for the end index here. Okay, let's see what is the end index. End index starts with 0, right? If you see, whatever the start index with 0, and if you highlight, start index and end index is 0. When the start index is 1, if you see, these are all the one combination. At that time, start index and end index values 1 and 1. It's same. And see, if I highlight the second iteration, start value and end value is 1. See, if you see here, not all the time, not end index is starting with 0. It is always starting with what is the start index. And if you see here, final element start index is 3 and end index is 3. So always we have to give the end index as start index. Now end index should be less than 3, which is the length of the array again. And then end plus, right? Now we done with the logic actually. Now we have to really print the array. To print the array, we have to use the for loop, as I said earlier. So int k equal to, what array we have to print? This range, starting from and ending index we have to print. So start index and k less than or equal to end index and k plus plus. That's it. So it has to be in the same line. Input of k, and if you see the diagram, after one subarray there will be a new line. So I am also expecting the same. So printing the new line, right? Okay, let me print. What is the input I have given? 1, 2, 3, 4. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. 3, 3, 4, 4. Totally 10, right? Which is really matching this element, right? It is so simple, right? As I said, all you have to do is, before rushing into the programming language or doing some program, and you have to just take a paper and pen and just analyze. I'm not saying this is the only way you have to do the subarray. There is n number of way, but you have to think of it. You have to, for sure you will get it in your mind if you have a pen and paper in your hand. Hope you understood this, and thank you. Stay tuned for all the data structure algorithms and interview questions. Thank you.